Final warning to Russia. Sweden forces Putin's desperate agreement. The war between Ukraine and Russia has had a significant impact on the security landscape in Eastern Europe. Neutrality was no longer a viable option for countries like Finland and Sweden, who faced Russia's aggression. Consequently, Finland recently joined NATO, while Sweden's membership is still pending. Finland's decision to join NATO last week heightened tensions in the Baltic and Nordic regions. In response, the Russian military conducted a comprehensive naval drill in the Baltic Sea. Moreover, the Russian ambassador to Sweden openly declared that the Scandinavian countries had become legitimate targets for Russia. Sweden promptly responded to Russia's provocative statements, issuing warnings that countered Russia's reckless rhetoric. These developments have further strained the relationship between Sweden and Russia. When Finland and Sweden applied for NATO membership, Russia expressed its disapproval, albeit without taking any concrete actions. However, with Finland's acceptance into NATO, Russia now shares a border with the alliance on its northwest flank. The situation may escalate further if Sweden also joins NATO, which has led Russia to adopt a more hardened stance. Sweden's Russian ambassador, Viktor Tatarintsev, made statements on the embassy's website, asserting that NATO membership makes Scandinavian countries legitimate targets for Russian retaliatory measures, including military actions. The Russian embassy also accused Sweden of becoming an American colony and criticized its support for Ukraine. The Russian embassy in Sweden claimed to have received an increasing number of letters from Swedes expressing support for Russia, but chose not to disclose them publicly. Russia had previously issued threats to Sweden, warning of appropriate military measures if it attempted to join NATO. However, the Russian ambassador's threats were met with strong warnings from Sweden. In response to the Russian ambassador's statements, the Swedish Ministry of Foreign Affairs plans to summon the Russian ambassador to protest against this blatant attempt to interfere. Swedish Foreign Minister Tobias Billström emphasized that Sweden determines its own security policy, and no one else has the authority to do so. The outcome of the tension between Russia and Sweden remains uncertain, and future developments will provide more clarity on the situation. Turning our attention to Sweden's support for Ukraine, it has been actively providing critical military assistance since the beginning of the war. This aid includes long-range anti-tank missiles, coastal defense systems, RBS-15, long-range Archer howitzers, light tanks, and substantial military ammunition and equipment for the Ukrainian army. Sweden has also increased its military ammunition production capacity for Ukraine on multiple occasions. In January, the Swedish government announced significant military aid to Ukraine, garnering global attention. This substantial support has been one of the most impactful steps taken in favor of Ukraine at present. Sweden has granted approval for the delivery of Archer 155mm self-propelled howitzers to Ukraine, as confirmed by Swedish Foreign Minister Tobias Billström. Minister Billström stated that Ukraine should acquire as many assault weapons as possible to confront Russian troops, and Sweden intends to contribute its part. However, the exact number of Archer's self-propelled guns transferred to Ukraine has not been disclosed by the Swedish government to the media. Reports suggest that the initial shipment to Ukraine may consist of approximately 18 self-propelled artillery mounts of the Archer type. When operated by multiple crews, these artillery systems can effectively deploy up to 12 shells of 155mm caliber due to their high rate of fire. The precise timing of the weapons supply to Ukraine remains unknown, but considering Sweden's previous intentions to provide arms and the timing of deliveries, it is likely that the transfer of Archer's self-propelled guns will occur in the near future. The Stockholm administration has also announced its plan to send 50 CV-90 armored vehicles and NLAW portable anti-tank missiles to the Ukrainian armed forces. Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson revealed that Sweden will dispatch CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles, Archer artillery systems, and NLAW anti-tank missiles to Ukraine. During a press conference, the Prime Minister emphasized that his government has proposed a three-part military support package for Ukraine, including the initial decision to commence the delivery of the Archer artillery system. The announcement of CV-90 combat vehicles came as a surprise to many. Additionally, Swedish Defense Minister Paul Johnson stated that the government aims to deliver all weapons and provide training for the Ukrainian army in the coming months. According to Swedish Foreign Minister Tobias Billström, Sweden has given its approval for the delivery of Archer 155mm self-propelled howitzers to Ukraine. Minister Billström emphasized the importance of Ukraine acquiring assault weapons to counter Russian troops, and Sweden is committed to playing its part. However, the exact number of Archer's self-propelled guns being transferred to Ukraine has not been disclosed to the media by the Swedish government. Reports suggest that the initial shipment to Ukraine may include approximately 18 self-propelled artillery mounts of the Archer type. These artillery systems, when operated by multiple crews, have a high rate of fire and can provide a highly effective offensive capability, delivering up to 12 shells of 155 mm caliber. The specific timing of the weapon supply to Ukraine remains unknown, but considering Sweden's previous statements of intent to supply arms and the timing of deliveries, it is likely that the transfer of Archer's self-propelled guns will occur in the near future. Additionally, the Stockholm administration has announced that it will send 50 CV-90 armored vehicles and NLAW portable anti-tank missiles to the Ukrainian armed forces. Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, speaking at a press conference, revealed Sweden's plan to send CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles, Archer artillery systems, and NLAW anti-tank missiles to Ukraine. The Prime Minister emphasized that the Swedish government has proposed a three-part military support package for Ukraine, with the initial decision focusing on delivering the Archer artillery system. The inclusion of CV-90 combat vehicles came as a surprise to many. Swedish Defense Minister Paul Johnson further stated that the government aims to provide all weapons and deliver training to the Ukrainian army in the coming months. Sweden's aid to Ukraine has indeed stirred the anger of the Russian leader. In response to Sweden's cooperation with Ukraine and the perceived risk of Sweden joining NATO, Russia has announced military reinforcements near Sweden and Finland. Additionally, Moscow has resorted to its own tactics to undermine NATO's position in the region, as exemplified by the Nord Stream submarine pipeline explosions in the Baltic Sea in September 2022. These incidents caused significant damage and triggered investigations in multiple countries, as the pipelines connect Russia and Germany. While Swedish authorities confirmed the deliberate sabotage nature of the explosions, theories about the identity and affiliation of the alleged criminals involved have emerged, suggesting the involvement of pro-Russian and pro-Ukrainian groups. The Kremlin, the White House, and the Ukrainian government have vehemently denied any involvement. The ongoing Swedish investigation, led by prosecutor S. Longfus, is based on facts, information from analysis, crime scene investigations, and collaboration with authorities in Sweden and other countries, disregarding speculative claims. Given Sweden's insistence on joining NATO, Russia's threats, and the ongoing war in Ukraine, NATO needs to respond effectively. In the short term, NATO should focus on increasing defense and resilience against hybrid threats. It should also demonstrate a proportional response to hybrid attacks attributed to Russia. While the accession of Finland and Sweden to NATO could potentially increase regional stability, it also brings risks that cannot be ignored. These steps will help ensure that NATO is prepared to respond to any actions Russia may have in mind. The impact of the Scandinavian countries' accession to NATO on the Ukraine war remains to be seen, and it is important to follow us to be updated on new developments. Hope you found this video informative and engaging. I'd greatly appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up, share it with others who might find it interesting, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Your support means a lot to me. Stay tuned for the next video, and until then, take care.